7,000 times. So say you'll drive me. Pocket records are back, baby. It has been a long time since I've made one of these. I'm so excited to bring back that idea where I'd react to an album or an artist and then I'd go and I'd try to write a song and produce a song that's in the style of what I just listened to. And in this past reaction series, I just finished listening to 1989, Taylor's version. Again, thank you so much for the love on those videos. You guys seem to really like those. I will absolutely continue to do some Taylor Swift, but I want to take a quick break and make some production videos and have a good time doing that. So for all my new friends, I'll quickly explain what my pocket records are. Honestly, what I'm doing is just taking inspiration from, like I said, what I recently listened to, and I just make an intro, verse, chorus. That's the idea. It's like a minute and a half or something. Super easy to digest, and just me challenging myself to produce and kind of get inspired by artists that I don't usually listen to. So I'm gonna have a lot of fun today. We're gonna write a song. So again, I'm basing this off of 1989, which was 2014, big pop. You know, you got Ryan Tedder doing a lot of that work. Yeah, it should be fun. I'm excited to kind of go into this like upbeat, happy pop type thing. So we're gonna start off and see what we can do. I'm gonna try to get a drum. Before I do that though, I should probably kind of decide what I want to do for a tempo. I'm thinking like 100, anywhere between 100 and 110. Yeah, that's 105. I like that. And we'll probably stick with C major. I like that. So I feel like it's kind of like this drum machine 80s type vibe, high pad, high synths, and then this kind of like catchy hook. That's really kind of like the most digestible formula for, I feel like, this album. So we're gonna kind of just jump right in and see what we get. Okay, so I've just been toying around with some drum machine ideas because I feel like it's very drum machine based. They have a groove that they start going. It's very electronic, and they kind of stick with it throughout a lot of the song. So I just kind of took a bunch of samples and I made this loop. It feels very 1989. Like that sub kick and then that trap snare. And then that little boom. That's on scale degree 5 in C major, which I don't have right now, but I like that. And then to keep it interesting, I'm going to add in this reverb snare, right? And then on the second one, because they definitely like to toy with space and a lot of reverb, so that'll be something fun. All right, so as I'm doing this, I feel like I want to keep it very simple, like give enough space for the vocals, you know? So I don't really want to do too much other than like a pad on like sol and do, and then maybe like, I want to see if I can find like a poppy bass. I like that. So like, yeah. I like that. I like that a lot. I feel like it's no more than that, and it's kind of like she likes to use those 4 chords. So I think we're gonna stick with that. I'm gonna add a pad in super quick just to give it a little bit of atmosphere. Ooh. Yeah. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. That's all it is. And then I'll just layer some vocals over that. We'll get to vocals at the end. So I think for arrangement, I'm gonna do 16 measures. So I'll do like a 4. I'll just have this drum beat and then have it come in. I like that. And then we'll do 16 bars. That makes sense. We'll keep it a very traditional. And then I want to add like a little pre-chorus in. She likes to go to the 5 chord and then kind of embellish it from there. So I think I'm going to keep the same sonic characteristics and just do like yeah. Nice. And then have like a little pause right there into this big vibey chorus, I feel like. And that's it. I like that. I like keeping it. One thing that I need to practice is leaving more space for the vocal. I feel like I always get so excited and want to fill up the verses so much. And then when I go to record vocals, there's already so many frequencies that are competing with my vocals, which is usually right in like the anywhere between 1000 to 3000. That's kind of like the sweet spot for vocals. And when I start filling that up with like percussion elements and synthetic elements, it just gets way too busy. So I think keeping it very like low mid and then just like that little pad. That keeps plenty of space for the vocal. Okay, let's make the drums a little bigger. I'm going to keep this just kind of pushing through the chorus. I like the groove of it. I'm going to add a deeper kick that kind of has more oomph to it just on those initial kick hits. We'll bring that snare back in and we'll have it hit on the 2s and 4s. Again, like with the reverb, giving it that space. Also, I'm going to add this hi-hat loop. Kind of right on the 16th notes, giving it a bit of that pulse, giving it some more movement. And then I just found this drum loop that was in my sound library. Kind of give some emphasis on like the offbeats. So all together, that sounds like this. Super like disco-y, but like 80s pop. And then like those 80s synths, I feel like that's what we're missing. But one thing I want to do before I forget is those reverb toms that Mark was talking about a ton in the last video. He loved those. And I feel like that's a huge thing for 1989. So like that kind of stuff, you know, those really compressed like high-end toms. Yeah, 100%. Just that extra like epic energy. All right, let's start focusing on the bass. With those drums, I think we'll just keep that kind of pulse going with that kind of plucky bass that I had. Yeah, just that loop. But I'm gonna add a respace in. I love respaces. It's kind of like a more buzzy, open kind of hit. But I'm probably gonna take the sustain, bring it down a little bit, so it's more of like a hit than like a full sustained thing. So like, right? So it kind of decays a little bit, which is cool. I'm gonna add that in. That's nice. And then one thing that I've also been practicing a little bit is a saw bass to kind of get like more energy in the bass. Right? It's that high-end like grimy material that kind of gives so much more energy. And I also just threw a kickstart sidechain on there to give it more of a pulse with the entire groove. So this is it without that grimy bass. Right? It's cool. A little boring. You add that high-end material in. So much bigger. So much bigger. So let's add back in the atmosphere. We'll just bring those pads back in. I'm just using the same loop as I did before. But one thing that I notice is a lot of like that high-end space that gives that extra energy in those choruses. And I'm going to... I like that tone, but it needs to be like just washed away with reverb. Yeah. And I'm also going to throw the kickstart on it too. And then I'll widen it with wider. One of the greatest little plugins I've found. Yeah. I really like that. I'm going to add in everything else with that. Yeah. I dig it. All right, let's add more synths. I'm thinking like we need just like a stabby chord in that mid-range. Just like the basic triad. I feel like keep it simple, get that voicing nice and solid. I like that. That's cool. I like the high end of material. Let's add the atmospheric stuff back in. Yeah, okay, this is feeling 1989 now. Just a little extra sauce. Yeah, I'm proud of myself for this one. I made my own Serum preset. I don't do sound design too much, and I really want to get more into it. Just this cool little bell tone. It's like my first preset, and he's making his way in. And finally, I think it just needs, for more like tonal stuff, I was listening back to a lot of the songs, Say Don't Go and New Romantics and stuff, and they had acoustic guitar in there, like super bright acoustic guitar, kind of just for texture. So I went along and I recorded this. I double tracked it and went left and right. Like it sounds kind of crap on its own, but then you bring everything else back in. Yeah. And we'll add the drums back in. I love that. And then I'm going to let that go through, as far as the arrangement goes, I'm going to let that go through twice for the chorus, and then I'm going to kind of give it like a B section and then go back to the A section for the chorus. So I changed around some of the chords and I did this. So it's like different movement. And then goes back. All right, the last thing I think I need before vocals is just some transitional material, which again, I've talked about transition stuff a lot lately and how important it is to have. So what I'm doing here is adding in vocal, little reverse vocal I got from Slate, which I love, and then these crashes. That's really all it is, and then these small little crashes in the second half. Just to give it a little bit more movement, and got this. And that's it. Gives the energy. Nothing like a nice high-end crash. All right. I think now we get into some choir stuff. I just went in, and she always does this thing with her vocals where she sings on so and do. There's always these little like vocal layers in there that really kind of like help boost the vocals and give more organicism to it. Organicism is not a word. Organic like textures, right? You know, vocals are the most organic textures there are. So I just recorded this. Cause say, I think it's kind of a harp on like Say Don't Go. But it's like that repetition thing. So you add everything back in and you've got this. Right? It just fits. And it's something like people can just chant. Okay, so now we're doing the vocals. And just a disclaimer, took some time to work on these vocals, lyrics, and all that fun stuff just because I wasn't going to make you sit through the entire process of songwriting. If you do want to see that at some point, I'm happy to do like a live stream or something, but like it's really difficult to explain my songwriting process as it is with probably a lot of songwriters and stuff because it's very like internal. It's like in your head. And for me, I'm still kind of trying to find ways so that I can explain like why I come up with specific ideas. Songwriting is definitely a difficult thing to teach. And you definitely kind of have to try it and just improve on your own, which obviously like you're always going to improve. Like you're always going to be writing better songs than the last ones, you know? So just to save you the time, I stopped the video for a bit and I kind of came up with some vocals and I'll kind of just like go through them super quick. And then obviously at the end of the video, I'll just do like a full playthrough and you can listen to it and have a great time. And if you'd like to hear the full song, definitely let me know and I'll produce this one out because I'm happy with how it ended up. But here we got the vocals. I'm going to turn input monitoring off and just my vocal chain, kind of just boosted the highs, cut the lows, compressed it quite a bit because that kind of like 2014 pop, very compressed vocals. And I added some auto-tune because we all use auto-tune. There's nothing wrong with it, in my opinion. Obviously, And I'm nowhere near as good of a singer as Taylor Swift, so I needed to find a way to at least try to compare with her. So, auto-tune. You stayed up until I got home. I forgot about the traffic. There was something in the road. So I guess the lyrics are kind of just like setting the scene where it's like New Year's Eve and this perspective of this person driving home, and they wish that they're driving home from someone that they were just with, and they wish that that person was driving them home, where it's like they wish that they could be together. I guess it happens to be on New Year's Eve. So this is just me kind of writing, trying to come up with like melodic lines that Taylor would use. So I guess you thought I was missing, or you hate when I'm alone. She likes to use a lot of like pedal notes, meaning like she just kind of sticks to one note. So I do that a couple times. Well, you're just like that, I know. Right? Kind of just like settling on something and then like using other melodic movements to make it more exciting. One thing I did do with harmonies here, she loves to do this bit. It's me, it was magic. You unlocked my golden key. She'll do like the octave up and put a bunch of reverb on it. So kind of added that. A lot of ear candy. I think I could probably add some more ear candy in there. And eventually I probably will. Let's just quickly go over the vocals. Say you drive me home. Very compressed, very mid-rangey, just because I want it to fit and pop out from, I guess those two things kind of contrast each other, don't they? But I want it to be able to kind of like fit in the mix. Because obviously you want to hear what I'm saying. So really quickly, I automated a mute on a bus, which is just like a doubler effect in Verb Suite. I love Verb Suite. It's a great reverb plugin from Slate. Say you drive. It's almost like a slap delay. That's kind of what it's doing, and it's just really, like, the attack is very, very sudden. Add some doubles to make it wider. Say you drive. You can't really tell right now, but they're panned hard left and right just to make it more wide and more prominent. Then I added just some harmonies in there. Say you drive me home. Very, very like punchy. And they're all fairly bright too, because again, I want it to kind of poke out in the mix. And that's it. That's literally it. Oh, I guess I'll show you these harmonies. After traffic lights, so I can see your eyes, and I'll think about it 7,000 times. And I threw a little bit of a de-esser on there, because since I'm pushing the highs, bringing it back down, I know that's also like, you don't really do that, but sometimes de-essers really, really save the day. And I have a pretty cheap de-esser. I don't use Soothe, which I really would like to use Soothe eventually, but I can't afford it right now. Yeah, that is the song. So I'll kind of just play through it and you guys can enjoy. You stayed up until I got home. I forgot about the traffic. There was something in the road. So I guess you thought I was missing, or you hate when I'm alone. Well, you're just like that, I know. But the moonlight and the traffic glowing up on New Year's Eve. When you kissed me, it was magic. You unlocked my golden key. And someday, on a New Year's, we'll be driving home together. But this year, I'm leaving without you. Say you drive me home. Next year in a fancy car. We don't even live that far. Say you drive me home. You can drive through traffic lights, so I can see your eyes, and I'll think about it 7,000 times. So say you'll drive me home. If you'd like to hear more of this song, let's try to get to 100 likes. I would love to keep working on this one, and who knows, maybe I will release it. That's all we got. So good to be back doing some pocket records, and as always, I will see you in the next video. Peace.